Hi everybody, so we're going to try something today and see if I can't show you how to just learn how to crochet left-handed. A lot of times my students tell me that it's hard to follow on a video, so we're going to see how mine does. So if you're left-handed, this is geared for you. So you're going to hold the short end of the yarn in your left hand, and you're going to hold the rest of the yarn over here in your right. Not all at one time, but kind of like this. And then you're going to make a loop. So you're going to take the yarn and put it in your thumb and index finger, and you're going to do the same thing over here, and all you're going to do is cross it over. So you're basically taking your left hand and twisting it onto your right, and you have a loop with the open end down here at the bottom. Then I'm going to transfer that into my left hand, same thing, and this time I'm going to put it towards me, or towards my left hand again, and it's going to look like a pretzel. So if you can get the pretzel look, then you're all set. Then you're going to pick up your hook and you're going to put it through that loop that's on the right hand side, not this one. Whoops, see? You don't want to do that. You want to put it through this loop right here, and then you're going to pull on both pieces, and it's going to form a little knot down here at the bottom. All right, the next thing you're going to do is figure out how to hold this. Some people hold it this way, some people hold it like this, whatever's comfortable for you. I don't care how my students hold the items in their hand. I'm not doing it, you are. So find a way that's comfortable. As far as your right hand goes, I put it, the yarn is going to filter through my index finger and my middle finger of my right hand, and once I have it there, I flip it back so that my inside of my hand is facing me. And then all you're going to do is do a chain stitch, and to do that, I yarn over the hook and I pull it through. And when you do that, your loop that's on this hook should flow pretty freely. If you have it super tight, try to get it really tight here. If you have it super tight, then what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to move this where you need it to. I can't even do it. Let's see if I can't get it like super. Oh, I picked up the wrong one. If you get it too tight, what's going to happen, and I'm going to try to make a stitch, I can't pull my hook through that loop, and if I do get it through the loop, when I go back the other way, it's going to be too small. So you want to have kind of a relaxed go with this. When you feel your hands tensing up, stop, take a minute, put everything down, and then just take a break, because your hands control the tension. And so you're going to yarn over and do it again. Now you can do it this way, but when you start reading pattern directions and they tell you to yarn over, this is the yarn over process. Now you have to remember that when I learned how to crochet, I learned from a person sitting over there where I have this black piece. So I had to do what they were doing, and that's what they were doing. You want to be able to get a balanced stitch. I don't even know how many I made. And let's see, what have I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I have 10. That's a good place to stop. You want to make sure that stitches are kind of even. I was talking, so I wasn't really paying attention. And back when I learned how to crochet in the late 60s, I'm 65 if you're trying to figure all that out, they didn't have left-handed stuff. So I had to learn from a right-handed person, and I had to read right-handed books. And right-handed people yarn over the hook. So I had to learn how to yarn over. And it just makes reading directions a little bit easier. Okay, so I have 10 here. I'm actually going to make 11 stitches, because this chain right here, this last one I did, counts as my one going back in the other direction. And now we're going to do a single crochet, so you get 2 for the price of 1 today. And a single crochet, you're going to be working in the top loop only. Okay, this is how I learned. There's other ways to do it, but I like this way. You're going to put your hook in, you're going to yarn over again, you're going to pull up. You now have 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over one more time and pull it through both. That's your first single crochet, and this little twisted guy over here, down here at the bottom, is your first chain that or your last one. So going across, I should do the same thing again. And what I should end up with by the time I get here are 10 stitches because I made that extra stitch on the end. So that's 2. And I'll put it in, yarn over, and pull it through. That's 3. And then 4. You want to maintain your tension. That's 5. And this is super, super loose so that you can see everything. 6. 7. It will twist a little bit, but that's okay. 8. And this is 9. And this is 10. Okay, you want to make sure that you have 10 stitches going across, and now I want to go back in the other direction. So I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to turn it again. And you want to be able to maintain this straight edge over here. But now when I'm going back in the other direction, what you're going to do is you can see the chains across the top of the stitch right here. And what you want to do is put your hook through both of them. Okay, when you're learning how to do the stitch, you want to do it this way. And you're just going to do the same thing. Push it through both, have my 2 loops on the hook, and pull it up. The problem most people encounter is when they get to the end. They tell me that it's not straight. They can't figure out what they're doing wrong. Well, at this end, I took an extra chain 1 before I turned it. And you have to make sure you do it on the other side, except some people have trouble seeing it. Okay, so what I have now is I have my 9 stitches. You can see my edge here is straight, but now I have to figure out where my hook goes here on the end. So you should have 1 more chain looking at you. So you're going to put your hook through both of those, and you're going to do another single crochet, and now it's straightened out. Okay, it's nice and straight. You have to make sure you do it on that end. So now in order to go back the other way, to go this way, I'm going to chain 1 again. If you don't do this chain 1, what happens is your stitching goes this way on an angle, and you get a really great triangle, but you don't get a square. Okay, and I'm going to do another row, and then I'm going to show you how you count this, because in some of the face group groups rather that I'm in, some of the people don't know how to count rows. Which I get, because when you're doing this stitch, it can be kind of confusing to see what you're counting. So let me get to the end. And you can slow this video down, and I have to keep pulling yarn and to see where I'm at. Okay, so here's my end. Now when I end, I didn't chain 1 because I'm not going to make any more rows, but I want you to see the rows. I did 3 of them. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. But here's how I count this. I cheat a little bit. Okay, I turn it over and I look down here at the bottom, and I see this little piece going across. This is the first row, this is the second row, and that counts as 2. Here's the piece going across here, that's 3. So if I was to do another row across the top, I would go 2, 4, and I would count it that way. That's how I count it. It's just easier to see it. You can see it over here too. It's just in a different place. So here's my middle piece. That's my 2. Here's my third one down here at the bottom. This is my beginning chain. This is my first actual row of second crochet. That's my first row, my second row, and my third row. And then you would just continue this to whatever size you want it to be. Hopefully that'll help you. If you needed to know, this is just an old worsted weight yarn from Joann's that I had, and this is a size G hook. You can tell it's kind of worn out. I've got the paint coming off of it. I use it quite a bit, but I really love it. It's a boil or a boy, B-O-Y-E. I always call them boils. But yeah, I like these better because it's a rounded piece here and the yarn doesn't get caught in it. So hopefully this helped you all out.